lower strata. In this way, we go up and down, keeps happening. So how do we do that? So that also Krishna tells very nicely in Bhagavad Gita that this 2.61 and 62. So please repeat. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vashehi tasya prajna pratishtita. One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as the man of steady intelligence. Somebody has opened it. Can you read purport? 260. Yeah. Please read the purport.
Purport that the highest conception of yoga perfection is Krishna consciousness is clearly explained in this verse. And unless one is Krishna conscious, it is not at all possible to control the mind. As cited above, the great sage Durvasa Muni picked a quarrel with Maharaj Amrish, and Durvasa Muni unnecessarily became angry out of pride and therefore could not check his senses. On the other hand, the king, although not as powerful as Yogi as the sage, but a devotee of the Lord, silently tolerated all the sages' injustices and thereby emerged victorious. The king was able to control his senses because of the following qualifications as mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Savaimana Krishna Padaravindayor Vasham Chamsi Vaikuntha Gunarvardhane Karohare Mandira Majinadishu Shrutam Chakra Mukundalingalaye Darshane Drusho Tadrutte Gatra Sparshanga Sangamam Granam Chitatpada Saroja Saurave Shrimat Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpite Pado Hare Kshetra Padanusarpane Shiro Rishikesha Padabhivandane Kamam Chadase Natu Kama Kamyam Yathottama Shloka Janashrayarati. King Amrish fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, engaged his words in describing the abode of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the form of the Lord, his body in touching the body of the devotee, his nostrils in smelling the flavor of the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, his tongue in tasting the tulsi leaves offered to him, his legs in traveling to the holy place where his temple is situated, his head in offering obeisances unto the Lord, and his desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord. And all these qualifications made him fit to become a Matpara devotee of the Lord. The word Matpara is most significant in this connection. How one can become Matpara is described in the life of Maharaj Amrish. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, a great scholar and acharya in the line of Matpara, remarks Mad Bhakti Para Prabhavena Sarvendriya Vijaya Purvika Svatma Drishti Sulabheti Bhava. The senses can be completely controlled only by the strength of the devotional service to Krishna. Also, the example of fire is sometimes given. As a blazing fire burns everything within a room, Lord Vishnu, situated in the heart of the yogi, burns up all the kinds of impurities. The Yoga Sutra also prescribes meditation on Vishnu and not meditation on the world. The so-called yogis who meditate on something which is not on the Vishnu platform simply waste their time in a vain search after some phantasmagoria. We have to be Krishna conscious, devoted to the personality of God. This is the aim of the real yoga.
Go to next one. I'll first read recite. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangashteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Bhijayate. While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them. And from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. Somebody else can read now.
Perfect. One who is not Krishna conscious is subjected to material desires. While contemplating the object of senses, The senses require real engagement, and if they are not engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, they will certainly seek engagement in the service of materialism. In the material world, everyone, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, to say nothing of other demigods in the heavenly planet, is subjected to the influence of sense objects. And the only method to get out of this puzzle of material existence is to become Krishna conscious. Lord Shiva was deep in meditation, but when Parvati agitated him for sense pleasure, he agreed to the proposal, and as a result, Kartikeya was born. When Haridas Thakur was a young devotee of Lord, he was similarly allured by the incarnation of Maya Devi, but Haridas easily passed the test because of his unalloyed devotion to Lord Krishna. As illustrated in the above mentioned verse of Sri Yamunacharya, a sincere devotee of Lord, sincere devotee of the Lord shuns all material sense enjoyment due to his higher taste for spiritual enjoyment in the association of the Lord. That is the secret of success. One who is not, therefore, in Krishna consciousness, however powerful he may be in the controlling the senses by artificial repression, is sure ultimately to fail. For the slightest thought of sense pleasure will agitate him to gratify his desires.
Yeah. So any clue you get from this? What is the way to control senses and get higher taste? Being Krishna conscious. Being Krishna conscious is the way by which actually only person who is Krishna conscious only can control the senses. So otherwise it is not possible. Prabhupada is giving example that even the big demigods like Lord Shiva and Brahma, of course they are pure devotees, but they are just showing the, what you say. Just an example how one may be, even one may be in a biggest position, still in material world one is influenced by material energy. So material energy is so powerful that she can influence even Brahma and Shiva also, such demigods also. So but somebody who is Krishna conscious like Ambarish Maharaj or Haridas Thakur or Yamunacharya, so they are all just devotees of the Lord, and that's why they can successfully control their senses, and that's how they can avoid the trouble which comes by unrestricted sense enjoyment in material life. So, and how do we become Krishna conscious? So how do we become Krishna conscious? Engaging all the senses in the service of the Lord. So one may say, Prabhu, we know this already. You are not telling something special. So we know already. We know, but there are 2 points. One is over here, what goes on in our mind as a contemplation is the first thing. And second thing is, do we actually do it? That is the second thing. First is that dhayato vishal pumsaha sangasteshu padayate. If one contemplates on the sense objects, then it will be that lust will develop. Lust means not only sex desire, but lust is desire to enjoy matter that will develop. So what is our contemplation? That's a very important question. If our contemplation is on the sense objects, eventually that attachment for sense gratification will develop, and then one will be forced to engage senses into sense gratification. We will not have any option in general. It will be like, that's it, I must get it. So contemplation is a very important consideration. We have to worry about the level of contemplation. And second thing is that we have to actually engage the senses into the service of the Lord. And we should not be neglectful of it. Because we see now, since time immemorial, we have contemplated on sense objects in many lifetimes before. All of us, in so many lifetimes before, we have engaged, contemplated on the sense objects. Apart from that, so many lifetimes we have been engaging our senses into sense gratification. So now our default setting is that sense gratification. That has become like a, by default it goes there, right? So if you want to change that default setting, then we have to put some efforts. Hmm. It is not possible that it will immediately, automatically it will happen. It will not happen automatically. We need to put some efforts, and these are the two efforts. We have to worry about our contemplation. Hmm. And second thing is, we have to also engage our senses. You can say, as if, even though it may look artificial, still we should do it. Still we should begin with physically, forcefully, whatever. But we have to do it as a, at least as a austerity. Like, it is not so much of austerity as such, but still, in case it feels like, so Ambarish Maharaj, Savai Mana Krishna Padaravinda, thinking of lotus feet of the Lord. This is may not be uh, automatic for us. Maybe, I don't know, some of you may be very exalted. So for some of you, maybe automatically you are just thinking. At least I can talk about myself. It's not automatic. So then what I should do? I should, at least after Shikshashtakam, I should sit and meditate on lotus feet of the Lord for 5 minutes at least. So yesterday in that Aghasur, he was telling, Shankar was reading that, right? Bhagavatam. Even if by force also somebody remembers Lord, he will be liberated from all problems. Even by force. So I was so happy to hear that. Means it is not that, it has to happen automatically for you. You may force yourself, forcefully try to meditate on the lotus feet. ठीक है, put time, 5 मिनट हमें भगवान के लोटस फीट के ऊपर मेडिटेशन करना है, or form of the Lord. I want to meditate on the form of the Lord for 5 minutes. So in this way, even if we have to force, let us do it. Then Vachansi Vaikuntha Gunanu Varnane, trying to glorify the Lord. Now it may not be automatic. It may happen that we may do it by force. But we should do it still somehow. And then Karo Harer Mandira Marjanadishu. So there is Maha-cleaning slot. So we may not like to do cleaning, but do it. So in this way, by engaging the senses into the sense objects, we'll see that the attachment will develop. But the same senses, when they are engaged into the service of the Lord, there will be, we see that slowly by engaging them, whether by force or artificially, we'll see that the real attachment will develop. That's what Prabhupada writes in this 61 purport. So, and it is not such a bad experience. Like, nice fragrance is there, this our Granam Tatat Pada Saroja Saurabhi, taking fragrance offered to the Lord. Is it such austerity? No, it's so nice. We have got so many different fragrances also. It's not only one every day, So it's a nice gratification also, isn't it? And then Srimad Rasanam, Srimad Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpide, tasting the Tulsi or Mahaprasad of the Lord. It is not such a austerity, right? It's not such austerity. Similarly, taking darshan of the Lord, it's not such austerity. It's nice. Only thing, our mind has become lazy now, little bit, to do these things. So mind ko thoda force karna padta. Otherwise, and if you force it little bit, then that will become default setting. So that's what Yamunacharya, for him, it has become default setting. For Haridas Thakur, it has become default setting now. So basically, bhakti means changing our default setting. So, like that. Okay, Ajay Prabhu is asking question. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, many times you told to sit one place and think about our lives and analyze what is happening in my life. If you have committed some sins or offenses, but it happens to meditate and contemplate on bad or offensive things, although we think that we are fallen mind, our focus is on wrong activities apart from repenting and finding solutions. Then don't focus. It is not that we have to sit and think, how I used to smoke cigarette. Of course, you may not, I'm just exaggerating, hyperbole, how nicely I used to smoke cigarette. Sometimes some devotee may come to us and tell, Prabhu, I'm so fallen. I would like to tell you, describe you in details how fallen I am. He will say, no, Prabhu, don't describe. I know how fallen all of us are. So let us discuss Krishna Katha. That describing. So it is not exactly that I said that we should sit at one place and long time think about it, but yeah, some little contemplation can happen that you know and that contemplation should be leading to something positive step. If it is leading to further contamination, then it is not useful. That means we don't have yet the adhikar of contemplation. So physically do lot of activities, so do this all this savai mana krishna padarindo baad mein, do lot of physical activities because passion is too much. So we have to purify the passion now, engage, and somehow we have to rigidly, that's why you know rigidly engage into a lot of spiritual activities, rigidly engage into our follow the rules and regulations very strictly. Then we will get that adhikar of contemplation. Otherwise, but contemplation is good if we can do that. See how I was sinful before, I have been saved now, I should not again get into it. So what all steps I should take? So this type of contemplation which leads to some positive steps, and positivity is good. But if the contemplation leads to negativity, that means it is not good. So we don't have adhikar yet for contemplation. Then just be a lot of physical activities.
Adhikar means qualification.
Yeah, qualification, correct. So now so in this, that's why although we may have got some higher test, means higher test is available for us, but it appears to be elusive. Hmm. Elusive means cheating us, or it escapes us. Why? Because Maya covers the suffering in material world which come by sense gratification, and she covers it by a layer of pleasure, and she covers also the spiritual enjoyment with the thin layer of suffering. These two, Avaranatmika Shakti, what she does, she covers the sufferings of material world with thin layer of pleasure, and she covers pleasure of spiritual world with thin layer of suffering. So in material world, we see that due to sense gratification, we have suffered so much. Is it that none of us have experienced it? So much of experience is there. But one may say, then why? Why don't I realize it? Because there is a thin layer of pleasure over there. There is some pleasure we get. Maya gives. She makes sure that some pleasure she will give in between. Otherwise, you cannot remain only. If there is no pleasure at all, how we will remain? It is not possible. Isn't it? We will be frustrated. So we know that example here heard that one man, he fell into the well. He was running. He fell into well, and while falling, he caught one. It is from Mahabharata. Achha. He caught that hold of a branch of tree. There was a one tree. Sometimes in the well also you see trees are there. And that was a thorny tree, and his heart, hands were piercing thorns, and blood was coming. And down he saw there was, one snakes were there, and up one tiger was chasing actually him. That's why he was running. And then in between on that tree there were two rats, black and white rat, and they were, eating that tree branch. And in this way he was like all surrounded by all different dangers. But then in that tree there was one honeycomb. And yeah. You can share that. This
What is that name?
is it exactly? There was one more. If you see ISKCON Desire Tree, na, they have given much nicely. Yeah, this is also okay. This is also good. Okay. As of course there was a tiger. Okay, this is also fine. You may share on this. So he saw, because there were some honey drops coming in between, he thought life is not all that bad. It's all right. Material world is all good. So there is some pleasure is there. Nobody will suffer, only suffer. There is some pleasure will come, either maybe through some yeah. this. Of course, that ISKCON Desire Tree cartoon, it was much nicer. I like that a lot. But still, you see, so here, the day and night, every passing of day and night, we are going closer and closer to death. And then the tiger of mm, this material fear of material existence is always chasing us, and the senses, which are snake like, they're always giving us pain because hankering for different things. But still, there is some pleasure comes in the form of some person will talk with us sweetly, or some sense gratification will get here and there, and one just thinks that, oh, this is not all that bad. And on spiritual life, Maya, what she does, spiritual world, there is so much pleasure. We see after coming in Krishna consciousness, we are experiencing so much pleasure. Hmm. Like we see, we dance. How many of us used to dance? Isn't it? It's such a pleasure to dance, isn't it? And then we get some nice prasad to eat. We get nice darshan of the Lord, beautiful darshan, of the Lord. We get to see, we get to smell such nice fragrances. How many used to have this fragrance before? Maybe deodorants we had to put, and we get such pure foods. We get such nice fragrance, and it is one kind of liberation only, practically speaking. So much of we are free from bad habits. Many of the bad habits have gone. Your mind has become much more peaceful than what it was before. How much mind is to hanker for so many things. Now mind is pacified. So much of happiness we have got. But Maya Devi, what she does, she covers it with thin layer of suffering. So, like, see previously how our friends used to behave with us so rudely. They would tease us, pull our leg like that. So now devotees behave with us so respectfully, right? They offer us obeisances, they say Prabhuji, Prabhuji, all that. But then Maya Devi covers with little suffering. Some devotee here and there speaks little harshly, immediately we feel, what is this devotee association? I don't like this. So much misery is there. अरे बट पहले कैसे लोग आपको आपके बर्थडे के दिन आपको पीछे मारते थे on your back, your buttocks they used to give beating, but that is forgotten. और अभी थोड़ा डिवोटीज ने इधर उधर कुछ कर दिया तो तुरंत हमको लगता है कि कैसा है भक्तों का एसोसिएशन, ऐसे कैसे mind keeps on troubling, right? Similarly, what we used to eat in the mess before, it was all of the mess only. It was a mess only, isn't it? But अभी प्रसाद में थोड़ा इधर उधर हो गया कि तुरंत we may say क्या है, what is this? Similarly, many times used to get up, in the late morning hours and क्या है, क्यों college जाए? So much frustrated we used to get up sometimes. But now we get up and we see darshan of the Lord. But Maya Devi, hey, क्यों सुबह उठना है? So this is Maya's action, that she will cover the pleasures, of spiritual life with thin layer of suffering, and then we will think that, see, material life was so good. See, the biggest trick of Maya Devi is what? Grass always look green on other side. दुरून डोंगर साजरे, in Marathi we say. दूर से सब अच्छा दिखता है. So when we come in bhakti, we see that we think that materialistics are enjoying. When we are in materialist, we think that devotees are enjoying. Means that is dissatisfaction. Always, always dissatisfaction is there. So that's why, for a devotee, that's why we have to understand that's why that knowledge, acting on a knowledge level is very important, because we should not be bewildered by the coverings which Maya Devi puts, and we should try to see the things through the eyes of knowledge. We should not get bewildered by those coverings, but we should see that the reality as it is should be seen by a devotee, and that is called as Pashyanti Jnana Chakshusha. Means we should learn to see from the eyes of scriptures. So Tani Sarvani Samyamya Yukta Asita Matparaha Vashehi Yasendriyani Tasya Pradnya Pratishtita. So we have to, bring the senses. So just like a child, he is demanding the mithai, sweetmeats which are covered by all flies. So the father, what he has to do, he has to control the child. Say, no, no, don't eat that, but I will go to home and give you some nice sweets, homemade sweets I'll give you. So that is what is the job of us. Senses are demanding, give, give, give. We say, no, 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 I'll give you, don't worry. It is not that I am not going to give you something nice, but I will give you nicer. This is not healthy. In this way, we have to, Tani sarvani samyaya yukta asita matpara. So we have to control the senses from external sense objects and give them spiritual sense, spiritual contact. And in this way, we will see that eventually the higher taste will come. But if one just listens to this covering which Maya is providing, then the higher taste will not come. If one is always grudging, crying, aisa kyun in devotional service, and always contemplating about how nice I was, then it is only the matter of time that higher taste will not come actually. It is only the matter of time that we will just be there, with the other people. So in this regards, also another, Krishna explains this himself also in another portion. So you may open 18th chapter now. 18.37 and 36 and 37. 36 and 37. 35 also maybe a little bit. 35 also has some option. 36. 36. Go to the translation. Let me see. Okay, so 36 says that, oh best of the Bharatas, now please hear from me about the three kinds of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoys and by which he sometimes comes to sometimes comes to end of all distress. Okay. Now 37. Yattadagre Visham eva Pariname Mrutopamam Tatsukham Satvikam Proktam Atma Buddhi Prasadajam. Please read translation.
That in the beginning made just like poison, but at the end just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mood of goodness. Purpose. In the pursuit of self-realization, one has to follow many rules and regulations to control the mind and senses, and to concentrate the mind on the self. All these procedures are very difficult, bitter like poison. One successfully following the regulations and comes to a transcendental position, he begins to drink real nectar and
So that which is in the beginning like a poison, but end it is like nectar. So that is and which awakens one to self-realization. That is the happiness in mode of goodness. So our spiritual practices are like that to some extent. Some extent it is said nectar in the beginning, nectar in the end. But for a conditioned soul, sometimes it is poison in the beginning. So Prabhupada is saying so many rules and regulations one has to follow, and then concentrate the mind. So these are all like poison, very difficult to do sometimes. You may say kya hai, especially the modern way the lifestyle is. It looks like it's a 180-degree shift है पूरा हमारा पहले 4 बजे सोते थे, अभी 4 बजे उठ लो को बोलते पहले कुछ भी खाओ, अभी एकदम रेस्ट्रिक्टेड खाना है, isn't it? जब भी खाओ, जब भी जो भी दिखा वो भी खाओ, like goat only. Anytime just eat anything anywhere. Similarly, it was like just you feel like going to movies, just watch anything, go to movies, go to see this, go to see that. It was like unrestricted. Now restriction. No, don't do this, do this, do this, do not do this. So it may look like a poison in the beginning. So, but if one continues actually with a conviction and faith, and patience, we'll see that eventually one will, as Prabhupada is saying, if one is successful in following this regulation, then he begins to drink nectar, real nectar. So we'll see that eventually that nectar will be accessed. So maybe we may say that it is little, in the beginning there is little nectar, then there is poison, and then there is actual nectar. So when we shift into voice, in the beginning, oh, so wonderful, so nice, so nice, so nice. Morning program, अरे ऐसा लग रहा है कि I am transported to spiritual world. Because वो ignorance का जो दुख है ना, वो उससे अगर हम जैसा you see these people, उनका एक दिन रहता है दीपावली, नरक चतुर्दशी डे. Everybody gets up early, right? Before sunrise, they have to complete bath, right? So how is that feeling? That feeling is like, wow, how wonderful it is. Sun is rising and the birds are chirping, and there is nice, the serene, and people put some nice, bupari or something like that. They will put some morning songs, isn't it? So one day in a year appears like, so wonderful. But then every day it is told. That becomes difficult. अरे नहीं रोज नहीं कर सकते लगता है. So same way in the beginning, that morning program experience feels like, my God, what it is. Or chanting also experience feels like, when one starts chanting, it looks like, I am just, I think, on the way to spiritual world. Just अभी एक 5-10 दिन में पहुंच जाऊंगा spiritual world. ऐसा लगता है. Isn't it? शायद सेकंड थर्ड ईयर तक ही बैक टू गॉड चला जाऊंगा, ऐसा लगता है. But then afterwards, my God, getting up early morning and that 16 rounds, and then these rules, that rule, बाप रे क्या है ये. But we have to have faith that just if we consistently do it. Prabhupada is saying, if one is successful in following these rules and regulations, and then one will come to transcendental position, and then you can taste that real nectar. So the taste which we experienced in the beginning of Krishna consciousness, it is not a false taste. But now Krishna is, now there is, one has to pay price for it now of, these rules and regulations. And then eventually we'll see that the taste will come. That taste will reappear, that joy will reappear, and it will be unlimited. There won't be any limitation into that. So as Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in Shuddha Bhakta Charana Renu song, the whole song is telling about how bliss he is experiencing in experiencing that higher taste. It's like, he's simply floating in bliss because of that, isn't it? So that will happen. Okay, next verse. Next verse. Yeah, 38. Vishayendriya samyogam yattadagre mrutopamam pariname vishamiva tatsukham raja samskrutam. Yeah.
That happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects, which appears like nectar at the first, but poison at the end, is said to be of the nature of passion. A young man and a young woman meet, and the senses drive the young man to see her, to touch her, and to have sexual intercourse. In the beginning, this may be very pleasing to the senses, but at the end, or after some time, it becomes just like poison. They are separated, or there is divorce, there is a lamentation, there is a sorrow, etc. Such happiness is always in the mode of passion. Happiness derived from combination of the senses and the sense object is always a cause of distress and should be avoided by all means.
So actually we see that illicit sex, it may look like happiness in the beginning, but eventually it gives lot of miseries, isn't it? There will be diseases, there will be shame, guilt, so many problems. My God, these days so many people are, practically being, you know, so there are sometimes rape cases happening. Hmm. And the person who may be raping, he may try to appear that because he's doing it because he wants to get some happiness, right? And by having that forceful sexual intercourse with woman, he may think that okay, I'm enjoying, but we see what follows. What follows is a horror, right? It horror, he will come, he'll be put in jail, he'll be, his name will be spoiled everywhere, this, that, all these things will happen, isn't it? Similarly, one may make some girlfriends here and there. Hmm. So it may appears to be great happiness in the beginning. Hmm. That, you know, so all cinema movies, they describe only that stage. They don't describe the further stage. you know. So one may, float in the sky, and one may say, I'm just like a bird, and and one may just, have a lot of, fantasies of love. But what follows, is not known, is not described. And that's why many people they experience that. Even big heroes and heroines, they had to experience when there is a breakup or all that, it's not the same. Hmm. And one may say, but Prabhu, I'll get married with that girlfriend. Yeah, even in that, if you see, one may not be that extent where divorce or something like that happens. Even, but any person, if he is honestly, he can tell, you know, that the kind of excitement or joy is there before marriage, that is not same after marriage. You know, it's like that. Even my sister, who is not at all a devotee, she also told the kind of ecstasy they had. You know, it was on material level only, but they had before marriage. Every day they would talk. When marriage was fixed, they would talk, and she would be thinking about the boy, and the boy is 2 3 4 times in a day. The boy would be thinking of calling her this, that, and so many gifts exchanges, this, that. But after marriage, it is not the same. She told actually now lot of work and lot of routine, lot of things, lot of responsibilities. So Vedic life also, marriage life is not just a fantasy. It is a life of responsibility actually. Same way, we see that these drugs. So these drugs may be appearing to be very, great pleasure in the beginning, but it is horror at the end. Person becomes addicted to it, and it's like and what all follows. We know that Chris Matthews drama our devotees do. Spurti, which camp you do? Spurti camp, I think so. Chris Matthews drama. So how that boy in the beginning he said, yes, take it, pre-sample, pre-sample. Eventually one becomes addicted. Hmm. So that is happiness in mode of passion. So material happiness is like that. It is happiness in the beginning, but at the end, hmm, I had one brother, cousin brother, who used to like eating samosas too much. So every day he would eat a lot of samosas. But eventually he developed severe stomach problems because of that. So it looks like happiness in the beginning. Hmm. But then there are severe consequences later on. It is not actual happiness. So it's a nectar in the beginning, but poison at the end, like that. So that is the nature of material pleasure, and that is mode of passion. Now read next one. यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च
अग्रे चानुबन्धे च
सुखं मोहनमात्मनः
सुखं मोहनमात्मनः
निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थं
निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थं
तत्तामस मुदारुतम्.
तत्तामस उदारतम्.
And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be the nature of ignorance. One who takes pleasure in laziness and in sleep is certainly in the mode of darkness, ignorance, and one who has no idea how to act and how not to act is also in the mode of ignorance. For the person in the mode of ignorance, everything is illusion. There is no happiness either in the beginning or at the end. For the person in the mode of passion, there might be some kind of ephemeral happiness in the beginning and at the end.
distress. But for the person in mode of ignorance, there is only distress both in the beginning and at the end.
Hmm. So for person in mode of goodness, poison in the beginning, nectar in the end. Hmm. So there is little poison. Hmm. So if we consider the spectrum of his life, of person in mode of goodness, there is little poison, little austerity is there. Poison means austerity, basically. You know, one has to adopt oneself to devotional concepts and lifestyle. It is little austerity. But then there is a great nectar which follows. Hmm. Then for a person in mode of passion, sense gratification, there is a nectar in the beginning. Hmm. But then there is a great poison. Hmm. There is a lot of miseries attached to it. Hmm. And for person in mode of ignorance, it's a flat bar. Hmm. What is that? It's a beginning to end. There is only misery because he is simply suffering. Like person who is taking intoxication and all that drugs, we see it's like, you know, it's a beginning to end. That's misery and misery and misery. There is nothing else. You know, or you know, somebody just remains lazy all the time. You know, some people develop such mental laziness. You know, they themselves are suffering like anything, but still they are not coming out of it. It's like, you know, intoxication to laziness or sleeping or like, you know, inactivity. You may say, Prabhu, what you are talking about? Believe me, I have seen some people like this and dealt with some people. You know, becomes very difficult to counsel them. One person I had to tell, Prabhu, please do sense gratification at least. Please be materialistic at least, Prabhu. You know, it will be very nice. Can you tell me? Can you imagine? This is what I had to tell him. Prabhu, be materialistic at least. Because from beginning to end, only mental laziness, negativity all the time. No, not like this, you know. There are people crazy like this. This is called as crazy, right? You know, he doesn't like anything. He doesn't like spirituality. He doesn't like material life. He doesn't want to do anything in life. You tell, hey, take some job. No. Take some studies. No. Okay, you know, assist your mother, father in household work. No. Then what do you want to do? I just want to watch pornography and here and there. You know, that pornography puts into that zone. You know, full inactivity. You know, you see, my God, you know, life of such a person I have seen how much suffering he undergoes. So much suffering. So I cannot describe you. You know. Finally, just we have to say, Prabhu, you have to just go to doctor. There is no other solution, you know, for you. You have to say like that. So this is, you know, this is mode of ignorance. You know? So that is very bad, harmful, very bad. That's the worst stage, I can say. And generally, we see such people only commit suicide and all that. So, so that's how. Um, this is how we have to understand that this is the nature of various types of happiness, various modes, and we have to be aware that how, you know, what happiness is long lasting and what happiness is, you know, short term. How do we develop faith? How do we develop faith that it is like that? Huh. Means how do we develop faith that sense gratification in the beginning it may look like nectar but it is like poison in the end? How do we develop faith that spiritual life may be austerity in the beginning but there is a great nectar waiting ahead? How do we believe that this type of mode of ignorance lifestyle is very pathetic and we save ourselves from falling into that trap?
Or at least in passion ignorance we have experience of.
Okay, we may have experience also.
Usually,
Okay, maybe by our own experience we may understand, Array, when I did that, you know, actually that's what, you know, this is called as vichar, as Amit, our Ajay Pro was telling also about contemplation. Oh, you know, see that time, you know, I unlimitedly ate food, prasad. What happened? You know, 4 days my stomach was fully bad. It's a simple thing. Or, you know, my God, you know, in those college days, you know, I used to run behind some girl. My God, how much suffering I got when I came to know that she doesn't love me. Or some better, more powerful boy was there after her also. So this is why, you know, he says that we have experience. Or my God, these 4 days went in simply ignorance and sleep and sleep and sleep. You know, I was so like, you know, I was like, you know, getting into whirlpool. and how much suffering it came to me. So by that we develop. So some experience we have ourselves also. By that we come to senses. Hey, Baba, I don't want to get into that world again. I want to, remain, cautious now. Let me be cautious now. So by experience, okay, some experience we have. Okay, yeah, Bimraj.
What is first part is true, at least theoretically, we come to understand. And second, like we see some senior devotees there, not like some are very senior and some are immediately senior. They are also happy. In middle, they are also seems to be very happy. And they want to go and go. Another were there at a fag end of life in material life also. The body still they want more and more to like that. That Maharaj was saying. Still now I want to read Bhagavad Gita one more time. I'm getting new things. I was very shocked and surprised to hear.
Yeah, amazing it was, right? Yes, same thing Saurabh Pro is also telling. By observing people who are undergoing that suffering or happiness, both things. So when we see that people, that cinema actor, this fellow committed suicide, how his life must be, he may be thinking, oh, he's a very popular cinema actor, like that. I think Kadam Khan or somebody was showing some video of him, and people are saying he's giving some address in IIT, I think so. And he's telling, I don't have any confidence, this, that, and people are saying, we love you, we love you, we love you. Can you imagine so many people are telling you, thousands of people, we love you. Can some person be frustrated in that state? No. Sometimes we think that, oh, nobody loves me. That's why we feel frustrated. But here, so many lakhs of people are telling that we love you and such fan, somebody wants his autograph and his photos are everywhere. How many places your photos are, Prabhu? Even in voice, do you have? मोबाइल में भी है क्या आपके खुद के मोबाइल में भी फोटो है क्या आपका? But his photo is practically everywhere, maybe, and all, posters on all advertisement, so what fame, what money, crores of rupees. They said that there are some crores of rupees he had. One movie they may be taking 50-60 crores rupees, right? And then there is, all, so many girls to enjoy with and so much. So all that, but still so frustrated. Isn't it? So frustrated still, despite that. And this is not only one example, exceptional example. So many examples. Every now and then, some examples come in front, but we can observe within our own families, our own neighborhood, everywhere we can observe what is the nature of people who have just stuck to sense gratification. Have you not observed in your? I have at least observed in my so many of my relatives, that is the same way, similar things, So, and also we can also observe that devotees, those devotees, as Vimraj was telling, who have continued year after year, year after year, year after year practicing Krishna consciousness, and what their nectar they are tasting now, isn't it? What nectar they are tasting? Like Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj was quoting that, yes, he said that I don't even remember how many times I have read Bhagavad Gita. Means he had read so many times, and he said till now when I still read Bhagavad Gita, I feel great nectar, isn't it? That's what he was saying, right? I get newer and newer realizations through it. So, and how they are tasting such a place in chanting holy names, and you see the lives of all this. So there is example for this also. Lives of, we see Mahatma Prabhu that day he gave class, or see Sankarshan Das Adhikari Prabhu, how blissful they are in their life, isn't it? Or our Vaishashikha Prabhu, kya enthusiasm hai. He's so old, but still so much enthusiasm. So many Maharajas, so many Prabhus, Matajis, so much examples are there. So many Matajis we see, how enthusiastic they are, You read about Yamuna Mataji. She also underwent a lot of ups and downs in her life, but she persisted in spiritual life. If you read that book, you will understand. I could really relate that book actually, because she was telling what a average struggling sadhaka undergoes. You can read from that book. You understand from it. It's really that way, certain things devotees are totally sometimes unreasonable, and sometimes so much austerity, sometimes we have to extend like anything, mind troubles like anything. But she persisted, you know. Apparently, sometimes it seemed that Prabhupada was also unhappy with her for certain things, but she persisted, and we see that she got that nectar. We saw her, she had come to Chowpatty temple, And we saw she was crying seeing the deities, and she said, "So beautiful is Radha Gopinath," she was telling me, and she was describing the speciality of deities, which did not even pass our mind ever. But she was describing, see how are her hands of Radharani, see how is the flute of Krishna, see how is the lotus feet of the Lord. She was, for some minutes she was just glorifying the deities only. And I was just thinking, my God, हम दर्शन लेते हैं तो हमको तो कुछ ऐसा लगता ही नहीं कि ये देखो वो देखो, nothing. We just take mechanically darshan. So we see that her life was like that, devotion, so much devotion. So we see that's the way. And you know so when we see these great personalities, these devotees, we can see that that is actually indeed the truth. And don't think that their life was simply ecstasy from beginning to end. No, they also have undergone that, struggles. They also had undergone the struggles. Are unke kya previous habits the? You can imagine what must be their struggles, especially when Prabhupada departed. There was a very tough time for all Prabhupada disciples, more or less, very very tough time. Because when Prabhupada was there, everything was ecstatic. Even still, within Prabhupada's presence also, they experienced a lot of, setbacks and all that. But when, especially after Prabhupada's departure, it was not so easy. Things were not so easy. Can you accept a 4-year elder person as your guru? Some devotees who came in 78 in Krishna consciousness, so they had to accept their guru who may be just 6 years elder than them. Like, it is like, Mohan Saga Prabhu becoming guru now. For them. So it is not easy, right? It's so difficult. So difficult it is. And being sannyasi, some of them were given sannyas so early. They took sannyas so early. It's not so easy. Are you ready to take sannyas in this stage? 3 years, 2 years in Krishna consciousness, but sannyas. So at time of Prabhupada, they were all in high, but it was not so easy. But many of them persisted. There were many mistakes here, there, but they kept, they put faith on Prabhupada, they put faith on Prabhupada's books. They put faith on Prabhupada's books, they put faith on Prabhupada, they put faith, they remained loyal to Prabhupada, and they continued, even though there were some setbacks, they again came back, got attached to Prabhupada. There's one lecture of Radhanath Maharaj on this Hayagriva Prabhu, if you have heard. The lecture title is something different, but Maharaj,
He was on the bed. He was saying, "Oh, I committed so many. I thought I was the first to make Prabhupada and committed."
So there is a lecture in wherein he's telling about. Acha, again he shared about Hayagriva Prabhu. Yeah. So you can hear that, that's a life, So then at the end, his realizations are, but that, I wasted so much of my time. I could have been with Prabhupada, I would have done so much for Prabhupada. I got so much mercy. I was the first one to meet Prabhupada. That sense, who could take up spiritual life seriously. So we see that from their realizations, we can also understand and we develop faith that yes, it exists. So it is the causeless mercy of Lord that such examples are still there on the world. Such examples are still there in the world. You can see them and we can derive inspiration from them. Yes, it works. There are people, who are doing it. Book is the life of unalloyed devotion. That is Yamuna Mataji's book. Of course, you need not read it immediately. Don't directly. The tendency is, Prabhuji, mujhe wo padhna hai. Prabhupada books chhod ke wo mat padho, because you may get bewildered by many things before they were in that book. So unless until you have got maturity, or you read and you ask guidance from some senior, otherwise, you may derive wrong lessons from that, or there is a great chance. So actually, ideally, this book should be read, when you get initiation and all. You are quite senior, when you are a little mature and all. So of course, many of you are as qualified as initiated devotees. So I would not say you just read that book, because there are many things which happen here and there, and one may say, "Hare, ऐसा कैसे होता है? Spiritual, मुझे तो लगता है वैकुंठ है." Yeah, वैकुंठ है, पर भौतिक जगत भी है. We are not yet in spiritual sky exactly, like that. So this is how we develop faith. This is the way we develop faith, by observing the things around, by actually understanding, seeing with open eyes. Yes, see what is his life, what is his life, whose life I want to be. How where do I want to go in myself? So we develop faith by that. Also, we develop faith by reading scriptures. The lives of great personalities like, you know, Prahlad Maharaj, and as Prabhupada is quoting, Ambarish Maharaj or Narad Muni, Narada Boy, or Vyasadev, these great personalities, or CC, so many examples are there. So we develop faith by them. Hmm. And we develop faith by associating with the sincere devotees, because that is a direct experience. We can see, array, this devotee, how wonderful he is, isn't it? He's practicing so nicely his spiritual life, and he's why he's going on, isn't it? Why he's going on and on and on. So we have to develop proper philosophical understanding, and we have to do contemplation on the philosophy, and we have to see the world through that eyes, and with an open heart we have to learn to see the world, and then we will develop a faith. So just go ahead, we'll end, but next verse. Okay, yeah, we have read actually, correct. All these three, these four only, correct. 38, 39th, we have read 39th also, no? Yeah, correct. Fine. So we have to understand that this perception of mind is deceptive. Whatever our mind is giving perception, that is very, very deceptive. Because it struggles for the nectar of material enjoyment, and it thinks that spiritual life is poisonous. But scriptures mention opposite. Scripture mention that spiritual life is like a nectar. So we should not believe on this perception which mind is giving. We have to believe it. It is always the matter, whom do we believe? Do we believe acharyas and scriptures, or do we believe our mind? It's always the choice. And so it's the matter of faith. When the faith is strongly developed, then we believe in acharyas. If the faith is weak, then we believe on our mind's perception, or we believe on those who are non-devotees. We may believe on them. So that's why, as a devotee, this particular understanding and contemplation or vichar on these things is very, very important, which will help him to go progress in his spiritual life. So in the beginning we saw that how we have to physically engage, maybe forcefully engage our mind and senses into the service of the Lord, and also develop a solid understanding of what is the nature of pleasure, spiritual pleasure, what is the nature of material pleasure, why that higher taste is eluding me, and how do I come out of it. By observing ourselves, by observing others, and developing solid faith. This is how I come out of it, that illusion. And by that way, actually, eventually we'll see that nectar will be able to experience. To the degree we actually practice spiritual life, to that degree we can experience nectar. To the degree we don't practice spiritual life, to that degree we cannot get nectar. So it is like chanting. To the degree we actually chant attentively, we can experience nectar. You cannot say I cannot experience. It is not correct. So it is not true. We can experience nectar. Some nectar may not be exactly the nectar which Rupa Goswami is experiencing, but little nectar is given by attentive chanting. One devotee once was asking, Prabhu, how do we develop taste in chanting practically? Just chant attentively. Even you struggle to chant attentively, you will feel some happiness. You'll feel some taste into it. You will feel it will not be boring. But when we don't follow the process, then we won't be able to experience that nectar. Then that nectar will not be there. If while chanting, if you are sleeping, if you are allowing mind to let it wander all 14 planetary systems, then that nectar will not be available. Then that nectar will elude us. Similarly, during morning also, when we actually get up and then we feel very nice also many times after getting up. But before getting up, it is such struggle. you know. But when we get up and come in front of the Lord, oh, then we feel, all right, so nice it is, right? So to the degree we actually follow the process, to that degree we can experience that nectar. Similarly, association of Vaishnavas, we discuss real Krishna Katha, we hear their realizations, share our realizations of bhakti. There is no doubt there is a great nectar. One of my most cherished moments of ashram are these only, wherein some senior devotee and all of us are just talking informally, not as a class, informally with each other. Of course, those days are gone now. Those were my most cherished days. So, wherein we just sit, you know, used to sit some of senior devotees and all. Some seniors, some my batchmates used to just sit and just cherish certain things. You know, that this happened, that happened, I experienced this. Sometimes some devotees would come from Mayapur and they would share some experiences. Prabhu, you know, this happened. We heard these classes and this was a nectar. And then, you know, so, you know, even in voice days, the post class, you know, was the most nectar in, you know, that I still cherished. Like I remember this Sankirtanan who had come to our voice those days, and that was like, you know, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was departing. So he just gave a normal class and then he was telling about Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. We had never heard about him before, you know. But then he was just speaking about Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. It was an informal gathering. It was not like, you know, it was not a class. But he was, I cannot still forget, he was telling that, you know, still he has got, you know, you see, this is a miracle. He has got such a, you know, pathetic health situation. You know, cancer is so painful, you know, and his leg has to be amputated, but he has such clear consciousness and he's smiling and he's telling that this is my best position. Ye wo sab bata rahe the wo. So it was so nectarine. You know? So we, when that, this is called an association. When we experience that association actually, but if we say that no, मैं अपना अपना चुपचाप प्रसाद लेके चला जाऊंगा, many devotees do that, right? You know, अपना अपना प्रसाद लेते, side में बैठते. Of course, if one is having company, college, it is understandable. But for some devotee, that is nature only. You know, it is like a ritual. चलो, morning program खत्म, प्रसाद खत्म, reading quota खत्म. You know, we cannot experience that nectar. It mechanical way doing things will never give us nectar. You know. So we relish these things, then we will see that there is actually nectar over there. So much nectar is there over there. Of course, we have to balance. It is not that one simply runs after nectar and then one is not company. Company वाले हमारे सर पढ़ रहे, अरे किधर गया प्रभु, I am experiencing nectar. Not, I am not saying that way. You know, so we have to learn to have proper balance of seva, sadhana, our job and all that. But the point is that to the degree we actually follow the process, to that degree nectar will be there, experienced. And to the degree we become purified, the further nectar will be given. So two things. One is that we have to actually follow the process, not just, you know, do a mechanical ritualistic thing. You worship the deity with actual attention, you will feel so much nectar. You pray to the Lord, you know, with sincerity, you will experience nectar. You can experience Lord. It is not, it is impossible that you will not experience Lord. You will experience Lord. You will experience nectar. But we do just a ritual, you know. This half Shikshashtakam, those days 420 Shikshashtakam, you know, is there the before. And then after that there is some gap. So it seems that some devotees understand that gap is to cover up some little sleepiness, you know, so they just sit and sleep, you know, for some time. And that gap is for praying. Sometimes devotees just utilize it for sleeping. Nice. थोड़ा सो जाते हैं, बहुत नींद आ रही है, थोड़ा सो जाते हैं. So devotees used to use it for that. Now it has shifted. So most of the devotees are not doing that because it is shifted now. 5 o'clock we do it. But then 4:20 to 4:30, 4:30 के बाद थोड़ा सो जाते हैं. थोड़ा 5-10 मिनट का थोड़ा सो नींद ले लेते हैं. But actually, because they don't know what it is for. Especially, it is meant for taking darshan. You know, you take darshan of the Lord, you offer some prayers, because maybe whole day you don't get time for offering prayers. So this is a time wherein, you know, there is a slot for prayers also. so so to the degree, basically what I was telling, to the degree you actually put your heart, put your attention, we do that with proper attention and heart, to that degree certain nectar will be there. and that will give us conviction, faith, everything will be there, which will come. And we can overcome lower taste also through that. But just mechanically, ritualistically doing things, or just for the sake of doing, you know, it is very, then that is not possible. And then that thin layer of what do you say, misery, which maybe they're covering the bliss of spiritual life, that will appear all in all for us, and we will not be able to access that, bliss of spiritual life. So that's the whole thing. Okay, I think we can stop here. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
That at all our asking about child. He's not getting child in Dwarka. You remember? Next only then some when devotee was serving us prasad.
He was also not getting
He was
child.
not getting child. But that was very touching. One more thing. He was very much frustrated here. He's not getting child. There he was. They'll try for one like more some years. If it doesn't get, that is also fine. Like Krishna is there. We'll go somewhere and have devotional service. Size like
Yeah, you see that the outlook totally changes, of looking towards the things of life if one practices devotional service. Really, yeah, that devotee, I remember now. So much outlook changed, na?
He was मतलब ऐसा नहीं lamentation नहीं ठीक है आगे we'll continue what is there we go chant preach.
Like Chitraketu Maharaj. Previously, he was not getting child. He was so miserable, so miserable. Later, although he was cursed to become a demon, still he said, "All right, I'll go and become a demon. No problem." This is worst situation, right? If somebody has to become demon, cursed by Parvati. Can you imagine? हमको अगर थोड़ा preacher डांटते तो हमको इतना लगता है, पार्वती ने अगर कर्ज किया हमको तो क्या होगा? It's like, unimaginable thing. But still he could take it very positively. Whereas before he was not able to take anything in his life. Everything was there, only one thing was that child was not there. बाकी सब कुछ था, सुंदर सुंदर पत्नी थे, पूरा राज्य था, पूरा पैसा था, क्या क्या रहेगा. But one thing was not there. He was so miserable. And now afterwards, everything is taken away from him. He has to just become a gross demon. But still he could take it up. And perfectly. Like, what a contrast. कितना paradigm shift है वो, किधर से किधर गया. Right.
Material like one is not there, still frustration. Here only one is there, still satisfied.
Yeah. Hari Bol. Thank you.